When you move into a town, one of the first things we looked at was a library. In Manitowoc, I don't think people in Manitowoc realize what an excellent library you have. The programs change as the needs of the community changes, and our world is getting larger, and we need more resources to be successful, not less. And one resource that is open to everyone in Manitowoc, regardless of economics or age or race, is a library. Literacy is something we all want for our children and for our community. We just want Manitowoc to be a very literate town, and literacy just has a much broader definition than it has in the past. So I just think it's just really essential to the community. They have a strong and a vital library.
I've been a resident of Manitowoc for many, many years. My family moved in from Whitewell back in '55. I became a regular user of the library. The last 16 years that I worked, I was a truck driver. And I would go down and get audio tapes from the library. That I probably listened to many, many hundreds of books. It surprised me the other night when I found out that they were thinking about cutting the hours for the library because things are starting to slow down. And there's people that would have more time to spend at the library. And this would be the time I would think you would want to have it available for the people that do need it. I do hope that something happens about reconsidering the cuts.
The library affects the quality of life in our entire city. It's a resource for all ages, not just the kids. It's for toddlers, the storytelling they offer. It's for school children age, for research, literature. It's for the elderly. It's a resource for those without internet access, or they can't afford newspapers or magazine subscriptions or to go to the movies. They rent those for nothing. And so it's free entertainment for people who can't afford to do anything else. There's story time for the toddlers and the youngsters. It creates a love of reading at an early age and a bonding time with their parents. For seniors, they have the large print books. They have audio books. They also offer delivery for the homebound. There is a connection to libraries throughout the state of Wisconsin, so you have even more access to additional materials if needed. It's been a tradition in Manitowoc for over 100 years. Educational opportunities offered through their other programs are for all ages and all interests. It's needed now more than ever with falling take-home pay. Services that are provided they're sorely needed due to the severe cuts to the schools. The library is used and needed by so many people in our city. Cutting the hours and services, which services are people, when you come right down to it. They're the ones who provide the service, so they are the services. It would be very telling as to where our city's priorities lie, and they should be with our children.
I have a very unique job in being an artist. When I was young, I used to take walks, and one of the walks, one day, I remember it, was a rough day at home. I took a walk, ended up at the library, and one of the things that struck me about the public library, where I grew up in Sheboygan, was that the services were available to anyone. So I could walk the stacks and discover what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be. I think it's really important to understand that the library is not an asset that is something that we want. You know, we all want a new car. We all want something shiny. This is a necessity and almost a right, I would argue, to the public. When I was young and things were going wrong at home, I could always go to the library. Things that I could always depend on was an escape. And I would sit there in the aisles and I would page over Whitman. I would page over Thoreau. I would page through books on Sicily and Matisse. And these things saved my life. So it gave me a love for literature, it gave me a love for art. I shudder to think what would happen to a young boy in my situation that walks up to the library and the library is closed. Sorry, we had to cut our hours, buddy. You can't come in. The decisions you make here are difficult, and I don't envy them. Being a business owner and budgets are difficult, and there's nowhere to find the money. And I understand that. I respect what you're doing here. But I wonder what we'd all say to that kid, and what direction he would go, and what decisions we make here, and what you make here, are going to affect generations to come in ways that you can't even comprehend.